Good morning. Good morning. Well, I'm wondering if you have been feeling so drained, so exhausted since your breast cancer treatment has ended that the thought of just adding one more thing to your already overloaded plate is just mind blowing. I've been there. I felt that. And I'm wondering if you feel that too. But here's what I want you to consider, right? I invite you to consider how it would feel to take some things off your plate. Yes, please sign me up, right? that, that, my friends, is what I am here to help you do. So, yes, we are here on day 4 of our energy boosting tips for breast cancer survivors, right? And what I want you to think about with these tips is yes, the 30 tips. They're not 30 things to do, right? Important difference here. But the 30 tips for things to take, ways to take things off your plate, ways to take things off your plate that are sucking your energy dry. So if we can get rid of what's sucking your energy dry or minimize, and we can inject some of these energy boosting tips. Does it not make sense that you're going to have more energy throughout your day? Yeah, it does. So, welcome to day 4 of our 30 days of energy boosting tips for breast cancer survivors. I'm your host, Karen Del Maestro, self care coach, breast cancer, and BRCA2 thriver. And welcome. Thank you for joining me here. Now, this kind of concept came to my mind because of something that I went through personally quite recently. And that was I got to support a very close family member as they went through a traumatic brain injury. And what I learned as I watched and supported somebody going through this is the impact that every single thought, every single movement, every single feeling has on our energy levels. Everything, way more than you could ever imagine or consider. And so, as that realization like sunk in, and it's like, wow, where are we spending all of our energy? Right. And we know that we're on a finite amount of energy right now after our treatment is ended. Like that is real. Breast cancer related fatigue is real. But there's so many things that we can do with all of the other stuff that's going on to help remove things off our plate. And that's the goal of this series is to help you see where can I remove things and where can I add in these energy boosting tips that are actually going to help me feel more energized versus more sucked dry. Makes sense, right? So today I want to talk about taking a mindful breath. Right? Super simple. Obviously, breathing is something we do all day, every day. We don't give a thought to it for most of us. But here's the thing, and this is why it's so important that we do. If we think about where are our lungs located? Right beneath our breasts. You may not have even considered this before. It's not something that a lot of people talk about. I talk about it because it blew my mind when I learned about the lung and the heart relationship to our breast health. So our lungs, according to Chinese medicine, hold on to grief. Do I see cogs turning? Have you dealt with grief in any way, shape, or form? Grief, by the way, is not necessarily the loss of somebody. It can also be the loss of a marriage or a loss of a relationship. It can be the loss of a job. It, for us, can be the loss of our breasts. Yeah. And the identity that we related to prior to our breast cancer journey. Right? We can be grieving for the woman that we once were. We can be grieving for the body that we once had. It can be, it's very profound and it's very deep. And in these short little videos, I'm not going to go too deep into it. But I just wanted to give you some food for thought there. So this is what I invite you to do today. Day 4, like I said, of our energy boosting tips is to hit the pause button. Now, I hit it up here in my head, right? Because just like brain pause, it's almost like we have to give ourselves permission to pause, right? You may be like running on that hamster wheel of life, not really stopping, not understanding that you get to choose if you stop or not. You do. You get to choose. Okay, so we're going to choose to hit the pause button. Okay, and then just take a few mindful breaths. Now, to do this, and there are very many different theories when it comes to breathing. I follow those of Buteyko breathing, as introduced to me by my good friends, dear friends, Stacey Stone and Marla Wall, because it's this breathing method that has actually changed my life quite significantly. So the theory of Buteyko breathing is that it's all in and out through the nose, which does well, by the way, for us in COVID terms, because our nose has these little hairs in it, which are there to filter our air, right? Our inbuilt mask system right in our nose already. So I'm not saying go without your masks. Don't misunderstand me. But it's interesting how our body naturally has these things and we often don't choose to use them. So if you think about it, as you're breathing in through your mouth, there's no filtration system, right? So all of the air, polluted and unpolluted, and I'll talk more about that as we go through the month, but all of that air is coming into our body. So we want to take a breath in through our nose, right? So we're starting off by hitting that pause button, giving ourselves permission to just sit, to empty our mind for a minute, to slow down for a minute, or even stop for a minute. Okay. And then we're just taking a breath in through our nose, thinking about the diaphragm, moving down. It's almost like an elevator that goes down as we inhale. And as we exhale, we're exhaling through our nose also, and we're letting that elevator come back up. You can also think about your lungs filling up, right? Where think about this mindful breathing as sending love to our lungs, right? Sending it a big hug, sending love, so sending self-acceptance, sending the message that it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to grieve for who you once were or the life that you once had. Because this breast cancer journey changes us. It changes so many things. And some of our lives are deeply changed and others not so much. It just depends. But all of us are changed in one way or another through this journey, right? So before we finish up today, let's take one more breath again, right? I also love to do this outside first thing in the morning, getting that first morning air. I find so cleansing and refreshing. And by the way, just consider this. I said I was going to go into it later, but I can't stop myself. Consider this, that our indoor air is often up to 500 times more polluted than the outdoor air. Crazy, right? And a lot of that is causing chronic fatigue. So, like I said, we're going to dive into that more later in the month. But so if you can take that breath outside, take that breath outside, right? So we're going to start by hitting that pause button. Pause. Yes, I'm silly. I'm goofy. Life and this stuff doesn't need to be serious. That's the thing. If it's serious, we're not going to do it. We all want some fun in our lives. We all want some joy, right? And then we take that breath in through the nose, thinking of that diaphragm going down, right? And then coming back up, exhaling through the nose also. And you can do this for as many times as you want to, slow, controlled. And yes, there are many more principles to this breathing. It's just purely, I wanted to connect some dots for you today about the impact of our lungs and how we breathe is so important to us and our energy level and showing ourselves that love and acceptance that we all want and crave, and some have and some don't have yet. Really important, one of my favorite words. Okay, so that's your tip for today. Now, if you want to follow along, don't forget to grab our energy boosting calendar, right? 30 days we are doing this for, little videos Monday through Friday. And just follow along throughout this month, right? Think about these little things that you can be doing. And part of the reason I put this calendar together is because I don't know about you, but I watch something or I read something and then I forget. I forget. Part of that is because, yes, I went through breast cancer. Part of that is, yes, because I've been thrown into menopause, just like you guys, just like you guys. And if you had chemotherapy, then you're also dealing with chemo brain on top of this. But the brain fog and the memory loss is not just because of chemo. Some of us that didn't have to go through chemo still deal with it. And that's why. Okay, so do yourself a favor. Don't put the pressure on yourself and print out the calendar so that you can just follow along. And then when you're feeling tired, you can just go up and say, which one of these do I need? Oh, that's right. A couple of breaths. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. And those couple of breaths as you're exhaling, envision stuff being taken off your plate, right? Envision the world slowing down. Close your eyes if you want to. Look at the sky, look at the trees, or just sit for a moment and check out. And then when you're ready to check back in, you're actually going to have more energy. You're going to be able to be more present. And that's the goal, is through these little things so that we're not adding to your plate. I know you're already feeling overloaded. Been there. I know it all too well. Okay. So we want to be thinking about taking stuff off your plate. That's what I'm going to do for you this month. I'm going to show you how to take these things off your plate. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Karen Del Maestro. You can find me over at KarenDelMaestro.com. You can join in the conversation here as we go through these 30 days and over in the Healthy Living After Breast Cancer Facebook community, where we are always talking about energy boosting tips and how we can also reduce our risk of getting sick again. Yeah, pretty cool, right? And don't forget to pick up your calendar. I'll make sure that you have the link to grab that wherever you're watching this video. But thank you for watching, guys. I was going to I can't do it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Have an amazing day. And don't forget to hit pause and breathe. Bye for now.